Hello, South Africa. A very warm welcome to Expressions. This is definitely the place for you to air your views. I'm your host, Jacqueline Mapala.
And I'm your host, Umxolisi Masango. As you can see, we're out and about to bring you this special edition of the show, coming to you from the Nelson Mandela Foundation, Ehoughton in Gauteng. It's great to have you, Muntu Mosha. Namhlanje, we're having really interesting conversations around this great man, Utata Nelson Mandela, as we ask the big question: can young people effect positive change in their communities? Ngabe wena wenzani emphakathini wangakini? Do join in on this all-important conversation enkundleni zethu zokuxhumana. Let's take a look at the first insert. Today we are joined by Obuhle Wakazulu, who's from Baz Cleaning, and I'm so excited because we're doing something special with you at this school today. Welcome to Expressions.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me, guys.
Tell us about why we're here, Namhlanje.
Today we are here to disinfect St. Peter Claver. This will be my way of, dedicating my 67 minutes. Now Sipilang is Kati where, there's the pandemic, and I thought what better way to, give back to the community, and disinfecting sounded like a good idea, or is a good idea rather.
I'm so excited about what we're about to go and do. Are you excited too?
Always. This is my job. This is my passion. I love it.
At least, I guess I want to know, Skolo, there's no learners at the moment. Why did you choose to do this particularly?
As the youth, we are coming with new innovative ways, on how to give back. So like I said, it made sense to me to disinfect the school. A lot of people, we concentrate on wear your mask, sanitize, social distancing. A lot of people aren't going into disinfecting, but I want to show people that disinfecting is a much needed service, not only to the schools, but to their homes as well. Yeah.
So how long have you guys been doing this? And talk to me about some of the challenges that you faced in your line of work.
So it is a cleaning company. It's called Baz Cleaning. I started last year on the 19th of March with toilet deep cleaning. And the thing is, literally when I started, with the toilet deep cleaning, it was 3 days when the lockdown happened. So I had to find new ways on how to be operational as the company. So disinfecting was the first thing that came to mind.
I want to know from you now, Oguti, what does a process lena your disinfector entail? Maybe Mongas tata through, because I know we're going to assist you with a few things, Manje, but just take us through what it entails.
We need to be suited. We need to make sure that the spaces that we are disinfecting, it's empty, because the chemical that we are using is a bit strong. Basically, we just disinfect the place and we wait for the chemical for about an hour to 30 minutes for it to do its job, and then that's it, and then we're good to go.
All right.
Yeah.
So in a time where we have not just us here in South Africa, but the global community as well grappling with COVID, you've found a very creative way to assist and also, use your 67 minutes of Nelson Mandela Day this year. I mean, abanye can't do it because I'm due to the lockdown regulations, but yours means that you can come out here. What would you say to young people right now?
Literally anything that you can do to make someone's life better, then that's what you can do. And of course, we have our tool, which is Google. You type in, how can I spend my 67 minutes? And they will give you options and options on options. And one of the best options I have noticed is, with old age people, like assisting them with vaccinating, because everything I need to vaccinate online. So our old people don't know how to use that tool. So that could be a good 67-minute dedication on how to assist abantu abadala in the community on how to, to register and get vaccinated. So that for me would be a good way. ukuthi abantwana babamba khona. Like, you know, usually that's where you disinfect the most. Just don't forget to pump them.
So now we're having this conversation at a time where we as Expressions are also asking whether can young people bring about positive change in their communities. What do you think?
I think we always do. We always do. And ngikhulumela kakhulu the entrepreneurs and the youth yala ePimvili. There is a company called Kasi Food Diaries, right? And every year, every 67 minutes, what they do is it's a soup kitchen, and they include other entrepreneurs and other youth. So we always doing a whole lot, you know, to give back to the community and to bring about some kind of impact into impilo zabantu esihlala nabo.
So do you think there's much to celebrate?
There's always something to celebrate. I'm a grateful person with a very grateful heart for everything that we have. The month of July, and especially the day, it reminds us, you know, of Ubuntu that we should have for one another. Going the extra mile for the next person, helping out the next person.
A powerful insert indeed. And of course, we know that Dr. Nelson Mandela was extremely passionate about education. And the fact that somebody like Ubuhle is actually making an impact in this particular space and making sure that she is disinfecting some of the schools that young people are going into actually is a powerful testament to the fact that young people can affect positive change in their community. You are watching Expressions. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome back. You're still watching Expressions. Now we continue to have conversations around the late, great Dr. Nelson Mandela. And we just want to know from you, can young people effect positive change in Phakathini Yangagibo? We also want to know, what are you doing in Phakathini Wangagini to make a positive change? Now we also speaking to another young person who's doing great things in Phakathini Wangagibo. I'm so excited. Let's take you there.
We are on location in Soshanguve, putting a very important spotlight on young people. And the poll question that we're asking you, Gochaye, is simply this: can young people effect positive change in their communities? And we are going to be having a very important chat with a young person by the name of Clement Maluleka to find out how he is transforming the community that he's a part of. Let's go and have a chat with him. Tell us a little bit about the work that you do and how you started doing it.
I love this story. In 2017, on the 3rd of March, I was doing the spelling bee competition under my organization. So it was the final of this spelling bee competition. So there was this young girl. She was like someone I knew, like she's going to win for these finals, but she didn't come for the finals. Then when I asked the educators there, they told me like her family cannot afford to buy a sanitary pad. So like it was heartbreaking for me because I expected something big from her. So then we had to postpone the finals of the spelling bee. So for me, I was like, oh, it means if she didn't come, how many girls out there who are not going to school because they don't have sanitary pads? Then that's where I started, no, I need to work with Department of Education, conduct research on how many girls are coming to school, how many on this day are not coming.
So let's get to it. We're gonna go and I'm gonna be part of the work that Clement actually does, you know, frequently to assist and help young women in his community to distribute pads. So Clement, let's get to it. How long have you been running your BEE youth organization for?
It's about 4 years, and then I've worked with different individuals, different companies, and then even the government itself. They've been very supportive because like now, with the work that I'm doing, they just decided to invite me to be a board member of South African Coalition of Menstrual Hygiene Management and African Coalition for Menstrual Hygiene Management again. And then a few months back, I just represented South Africa, the only one selected to talk about menstrual hygiene management, something like I didn't even go to school for. I just conducted the research. Okay, after my charity work, there's some few thousands that I raised together with this company that I was working with. They've been very supportive with called Happy Me. Then I bought these sanitary pads from them. They even discounted it. Then I bought a lot of sanitary pads, more than 20,000. I went there and donated in Limpopo to different schools, primary schools and high schools. Then again on the 24th of February this year, I worked with SABC Radio Monganalonene for a back to school program where we went out, we donated sanitary pads to about 7 schools.
And you know, as we commemorate obviously what Nelson Mandela actually stood for, what does that particular day mean to you as a young person?
For me, Mandela Day, on that day, each and every time when I wake up on that day, I feel like Mandela gave me this energy that let's go out there, do something.
So our poll question on the show is that can young people effect positive change in the community? I mean, what is your take around young people being able to, impact and affect change in their community?
Young people, we are the one who are failing ourselves. If we can check now, we have social medias, but our generations, they are using social media in a wrong way. There are opportunities in social media. You don't need data to access opportunities. For example, me, I am where I am today because of social media. I've won awards because of social media. But our generation today, they are using social media in a wrong way. That's one tool that can take us from a place where we're at. We are suffering. We're blaming government that there's no job opportunities, there's no this and that. But we can create opportunities for everyone if we can use our social media in a good way.
So I just want to find out from you, as a young person, as a young lady, what does Clement's contribution and assistance mean to you?
It means everything to me, because every girl would like to have received this opportunity today. So I'm feeling ecstatic to have received this opportunity today.
It means so much. It's so overwhelming, because such as young ladies, we struggle to find sanitary pads. So yes, we appreciate a lot.
The feeling is mutual. I feel actually very overwhelmed because of this is a very nice opportunity, getting sanitary pads. We don't get this opportunity much, so it's ecstatic.
I'm feeling happy because now we are in lockdown. Sometimes our fathers don't work, so we don't have money to buy pads or someone to help us.
I'm pretty much excited, and all thanks to him, because some other families, they come from a poor side and then they couldn't afford to buy these things. So as much as we see that he can afford, we are very much excited and we thank him for these things.
There's so many challenges that young women, not only in Soshanguve, but across the country, are experiencing and living with. And the fact that we have young people such as Clement stepping up and obviously making sure that they continue the legacy of Nelson Mandela, where they're allowing other young people to live with dignity, is so powerful to what Nelson Mandela, and at least Mandela Month and Mandela Day, actually means to this country and the world over. We say halala to somebody like Clement, and hopefully you are inspired to do exactly the same thing. You are watching Expressions. We'll be back right after this.
Now, Ore Khotsofetsi who donate my oranges, I really want to find out how does he go about this important task, seeing that we all need vitamin C, kakhulukazi ngesikhathi sobusika. Who said heroes need to come wearing capes? It's a very interesting one. Let's have a look at this insert. So we continue with young people who are, doing all sorts of acts of kindness in line with the spirit of Utatao Nelson Mandela this July. And we're joined by Ore Khotsofetsi Wagachikane, who is from Project Orange. Welcome to Expressions.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's great to have you on the show. Now, Ore Khotsofetsi, I want to know from you, why give away oranges?
Some people often think, why an orange out of all things you could give? The first thing is, one, showing that small gestures count, right? Before we get into the whole medical aspect of it, but showing that a small gesture to someone can really change their lives, even if it is a single orange. And that's the type of message that we're trying to give out to people. Another fact is that we now know that oranges help boost up the immune system. And in this fight against COVID-19 and the fight against the health crisis in the country, we're trying to do our bit about how do you allow those who are the most vulnerable in our society to get their immune system boosted up, even if it's through these one small gestures, one orange at a time.
Talk to us about the communities that you guys reach out to and, the core of Project Orange itself.
Yeah, so Project Orange has been running for about 2 years now, right? So we're in our second year of existence. We primarily started in and around the Olifants River Valley area. We then expanded to the wider Western Cape region, and as we got more and more donations, more and more support, we started expanding to the rest of the country. Just last year, we were giving out oranges throughout Soweto, throughout Alexandria in this area. And it's been a fantastic journey so far, just to see the amount of love and care that people are willing to support this project with. So it's interesting. Last year we donated 7 million oranges across the country, and we're hoping we can either match or even exceed that target this year.
So now let's talk about the oranges, being in line with winter. Is this something that only happens per winter?
It usually happens during this time of the year, so we really have a really tight window, which is why we can get all the support that we need. So during this tight window in which we can donate, because we're not storing them, right? That's a fantastic thing about this project. It's not that we get all these oranges, put them in a fridge, and then wait for people. We take them straight off the tree, right onto the truck, straight to wherever they need to go, all for 50 cents an orange. And that project has been fantastic to kind of watch it evolve. So yeah, we have a very tight window, and the tight window is because we want to give these oranges as fresh as possible.
So let's speak to our communities now. How do they get a hold of you guys?
Yeah, they can get hold of us through most social media platforms, but the easiest way is to go into the Reuben Richards Foundation website. And on there you can find more information about Project Orange. You can find out more about our partners. This year we've been blessed to be able to work with the Brian Habana Foundation, the Center for Early Childhood Development. They've also chipped in, and CBD Marketing is also helping us out. So we have multiple stakeholders who are helping us get to more people. And if you want to learn more about us and the partners that we're working with, the Reuben Richards Foundation website, and you can find Project Orange there.
As you continue on your journey to give away oranges, we want to know on Expressions today, can young people, go about giving a positive impact and a positive change in our communities?
Yeah, I don't think young people have a choice, right? That if we don't change our communities, if we don't impact the prevalence of poverty in our communities, we're the ones who have to deal with it in the future. And so it's not about whether we can or cannot, it's about how do we do it, because we don't have an option, right? So when anyone starts any sort of initiative that says, I'm trying to make people's lives better in my community, I think the country should jump on board and say any initiative, because of the extent of poverty that we have in our country, any initiative is required. We can't now be picky about what we should or should not be doing. And I think the responsibility for pushing that agenda should really come from young people. So I think it's less of a choice and more of a when do we start.
we continue this very important conversation around whether young people in this country can effect positive change in their community. Right now I'm going to be speaking to Gerald September, who is the Dean of Students here at Wits University. Gerald, a very warm welcome to Expressions. It's good to have you here.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here.
You know, as we commemorate and we celebrate the legacy of Nelson Mandela, I think the big question is there anything to celebrate?
The fact that we're standing here today, I think, is a celebration. We have a beautiful constitution, and I know that's the subject of a lot of debate at the moment, but it provides a blueprint. It's a blueprint of the sorts of society that we should be working towards, and that's certainly part of the legacy that he has left us.
Mm-hmm. So Gerald, even as we celebrate the legacy of Nelson Mandela, we know that he also studied at this institution. I mean, what does it mean as the world celebrates him, as the world sort of, looks at this particular milestone, to be an institution that actually contributed to his academic trajectory and his academic success?
Oh, it's enormously important, and we certainly value that. He was a student here in our law school. He walked these halls, made his contribution, and for us as a university, we are proud of that, and we certainly celebrate that, and that's why we want to emulate parts of who he was to our students, and to how we develop citizens for the future.
Mm-hmm. So our poll question is, can young people, create positive and effective change within their communities? But I mean, obviously we want to talk about development. What is the role of young people in contributing to development in their communities?
They have time, they have opportunity to go into community, to start clubs, to work with other young people, to work on community-based initiatives. There's an election coming up, and in that, I mean, the youth is a vital voice in the society, and so by participating in shaping the future, that they can make a real difference. And of course, in challenging us and saying what you're doing is not okay. I think that's the other important role that they must play. So youth need to step up to that.
How have you internalized as an institution how you sort of assist young people in sort of overcoming some of those challenges? I mean, Nelson Mandela was passionate about education, alleviating poverty, and all those different types of values. But as an institution, how are you taking that forward and supporting your students in that particular instance?
What I think is important also as a university is that in the research space, we are definitely involved in a range of research initiatives, from helping us understand our world through the humanities to what we're doing in the health sciences. Now, for example, with the pandemic, you might know that our researchers are really at the forefront of helping to fight this particular pandemic. In our law school, at the forefront in terms of legal work that we are doing. So as a university, we are fully engaged in what it means to build the kind of society that I think Tata wanted. And what you might have noticed, we've now also changed our logo. So we now say Wits for good. And what that means really is, how do we as a university continue a legacy of doing good for the world, of doing good and of creating the sort of society that I think Tata envisaged.
So we've come to the end of today's episode, and I'm impacted and inspired by some of the young people that we got an opportunity to speak to, whether it was Khosi, whether it was Bushle, and of course, we spoke to Clement, and as well as a community development expert within that particular space. It tells us that Nelson Mandela's legacy is still alive and breathing among young people. Right, Mko?
Absolutely. People will never forget how you made them feel. That's the quote that rings in my mind as we continue to celebrate this great legend, Jackie. And of course, thank you so much for your contribution, Enkundleni Zethu Zokuxhumana. And we came to you from this particular place today. Thank you so much to the generous consideration of the Nelson Mandela's Center for Memory, of course, here in Houghton. Until next time, from all of us here at Expressions, Adios, muchachos.